In this video, we'll cover Spring Dependency Injection. Dependency injection makes use of the dependency inversion principle. That's where the client delegates to another object the responsibility of providing its dependencies. Now let's look at an example of this using a car factory. So I want to purchase a car. So I communicate with the car factory, says, hey, give me a car object. And in the background, they'll actually go off and grab the given car and make it available to me. Now, since it's a factory, they may have to actually assemble the car from various parts like the door, the engine, the windshield, all the different components there. And then once it's all put together, they'll give me the actual car. The whole idea of dependency injection saying, hey, give me a given object. If it has any components or helper components, then assemble all that for me ahead of time and simply give it to me so I can use it out of the box. So that's the idea of dependency injection, injecting the given dependencies or helper components for a given object. Now, remember here with the Spring container kind of works as the object factory. So my application can talk to the Spring container, hey, give me a coach object. This coach object may have additional dependencies or additional helpers. So imagine you have a head coach. The head coach may have a staff of assistant coaches, physical trainers, a medical staff, and so on. So I can say, hey, give me everything that I need to make use of this given coach. And then I'll give it to me all put together, ready to go out of the box. So that's dependency injection here using the Spring container. Now, just as a refresher here, remember with the Spring container here, it has primary functions. So the one function is creating and manage the objects. That's the inversion of control. And then also injecting the object's dependencies using dependency injection. Those are the two key functions there. Now let's look at a demo example here. So I have this coach that provides daily workouts. And then we have this demo controller that wants to use a coach. Okay, so in this case, the coach is the helper. So this is known as a dependency. And what we'd like to do is inject this dependency into our controller or inject the coach into the given controller. Now, as far as injection types, there are multiple injection types available with Spring. We'll cover the two recommended types of injection. That's constructor injection and also setter injection. Now you may wonder, well, which type of injection should I use? Well, with constructor injection, use this when you have required dependencies, and it's generally recommended by the Spring I/O development team as the first choice. There's also setter injection, and you can use this when you have optional dependencies. So in this case, if the dependency is not provided, your app can provide reasonable default logic. And I'll show you coding examples of constructor injection and also setter injection in some of the upcoming videos. Now, what is Spring auto wiring? Well, for dependency injection, Spring can make use of auto wiring. So Spring will look for a class that matches. So it can match by type, either a class or interface, and then Spring will inject it automatically. Hence, that given dependency is auto wired. Now, with an auto wiring example here, injecting a coach implementation, Spring will scan for components or any class that's annotated with the component annotation, and it'll say, hey, does anyone implement the coach interface? If so, then let's inject them. So in our example, it could say, hey, there's a cricket coach. Let's go ahead and inject this cricket coach as a dependency for this given example. And so that's an example here of auto wiring.